Hi guys, welcome to the Transfer Talks with the EPL Showdown. Here we have with us Ganeev who represents Arsenal. We have Vinamra who represents Man U. We have Jeet Shah who represents Chelsea and Jadon Fernandez. I represent City. Let's go. Let's get right into it. Speaking of Arsenal, Arsenal are recently in the news for who they are signing again.
Yeah, so Arsenal have already signed Gabriel from Lille, who's a left centre back. They've already signed Willian from Chelsea on a free transfer. And in terms of outgoings, Guendouzi has clearly been out of favour in Arteta's time, and he looks likely to be sold. Socrates and Kolasinac are also finding suitors in the Bundesliga. In terms of further incomings, they they have wanted Thomas Partey from Atletico for long, but Atletico have made their stance very clear. They want 50 million or no or nothing. And Arsenal, who are clearly struggling in terms of the transfer budget, are contemplating whether to pay that sum or no. And they also like Danny Ceballos, who had a good season this year. But in terms of official news, he's returned to Real Madrid. But Arsenal might try to get him on a permanent basis. Ganeev, what are your thoughts on what's happening at Arsenal right now?
Yeah, like you said, we have Gabriel. I'm very glad that we got two new center backs. I think that was the ultimate priority, and now that we have them.
Saliba is here as well.
Sorry?
Yeah, I didn't mention William Saliba, so I'm saying, how could I forget that name?
Yeah, Saliba. So Saliba, I saw him yesterday in the preseason game. So he's a monster, bro. Like you have to see that guy. He's 6'4" and he's easily the biggest guy on the pitch. I think we needed that physicality at the back. Now we have Gabriel coming in, who's pretty pacey, good at interceptions. That's good. Ceballos is so I'm pretty sure we don't have the funds to get Ceballos on a permanent basis this year. But what we have proposed to Real Madrid is to get him on loan, and then with an option to buy for next year. I don't know what's going through the dance head, but I think he prefers selling this year, and that's why AC Milan are in for him. Now we also have Maitland Niles going out, and a couple of other guys you mentioned like Socrates and Kolasinac. I think those deals could be used to fund the money for party, but it's just
Yeah, but again, the
let's
problem
see
is,
how it goes.
from what I heard, Schalke are also looking for a loan deal for Kolasinac and not willing to pay upfront. And that's probably the situation with every club in this pandemic. So, like, generating sales is proving to be a huge issue for all clubs.
I think yeah, people will have to start taking. I think players will have to start taking pay cuts because Kolasinac is on like 120K per week, and I think a club in the Bundesliga won't be paying 120K per week for an out of favor left back who's like 30 almost. So yeah, let's see. But hopefully we'll have a new central midfielder. I'm hoping Partey. I'm hoping Awar. Um, you know, and hopefully somebody in the forward line as well, considering Lacazette might lead to Juventus
But
or
yeah,
even
provides you an option on the wing now.
Willian. Willian won't be played on the wing. What I've heard is Willian is going to be deployed as a 10, a hard-working 10, which we lacked last year because Ozil didn't want to work hard.
Yeah.
So the hard-working 10 will be Willian. I think that's where he's going to be played. We already have enough on the wing with Saka and Pepe and even the young guys coming in. So
Yeah,
yeah,
but the squad definitely looks fresh for the coming season. Like, you can
it
smell
does.
change of air at Arsenal now. They're sort of backing the manager, and like they're ready to sort of pay much more than what they have been used to in previous markets. So Arsenal, they probably have one of the busiest summers this summer with the club going to a proper revamp. Moving on to the London neighbours in Tottenham Hotspur, they've already confirmed the signing of Højbjerg from Southampton, who comes in as a central midfielder for Jose Mourinho, with Tanguy and Ndombele actively seeking a move out, and Inter Milan projected as his likeliest destination, and Antonio Conte being a huge fan who is now confirmed that he'll be staying at Inter for another season. They've also signed Joe Hart on a free transfer. That comes as a sort of surprise in my opinion. They had They had Gazaniga as a decent backup. I really didn't understand
Yeah,
them
yeah, that's true.
so hard, to
Hmm.
be honest.
Joe Hart was actually such a surprise. I didn't expect Mourinho to sign Joe Hart out of everyone, to be honest.
But
But I
maybe
And
think
that's when
like
they have a
they
backup.
were light. Na, I don't think like Mourinho trusts Lloris and Gazaniga. So I think he just got a backing.
But why would he even trust Hart? I mean, Hart has been
Bro,
not that
I
great.
mean,
Joe
Hart
Hart
is a
got
very
ripped this quarantine. Did
who?
you have Joe Hart got ripped? Like he had this major transformation, but he's
Rip.
basically all
Hmm.
he looks so
all
fit.
he
I mean,
did.
Hmm.
I
He's,
to
he's
still think he's the backup keeper. So I think he's a massive upgrade on Gazaniga. I don't think Gazaniga was cut out.
Joe Hart couldn't make it at Burnley. There's no way he's going to start for Spurs. I think
He won't. But I'm saying as a backup keeper, he's a pretty good signing. I mean, for me,
to pay that much wages when you're tight on funds for a
I
necessary.
don't think it's. I doubt because Levy is basically a very shrewd negotiator. So I'm pretty sure that the wages are not as high as like we expected to be.
In terms of other news for Spurs, there are very recent reports saying that they are very interested in Matt Doherty, who plays right wing back for Wolves. And Danny Rose is also likely departure, who spent last season on Newcastle. And there are some reports that say Newcastle also want him back on loan this season. So that is more or less it.
Yeah.
In my
To
opinion.
be
I mean,
honest, Doherty could be a big signing
Doherty
for
is a very
Spurs.
good signing, I think, for Spurs if they
I mean, everyone knows him for his fantasy performances, but like even on the pitch, he is genuinely such a good player.
The thing is, bro, Doherty has always played wing back for Wolves, and
Hmm.
Spurs play with a backline of 4. So like adjusting to be playing right back might be an issue for Doherty. Like we've never seen him play that role.
But he's quite a versatile player. I mean, he comes inside as well. So I feel that he could play with Mourinho quite well.
So that could mean Serge Aurier becoming backup now. But I
he
felt
needs to be backup. Serge Aurier has been this shittiest player at Spurs. Like I mean, all of the players are pretty shit, but Aurier has like stood out.
so reckless, bro. Him paired with David Sanchez is like suicide for me. Straight up. But I felt they really needed a left back, in my opinion. Ben Davis is okay, but he doesn't offer anything going forward. I mean, Danny Rose moving away and Sessegnon probably been seen as a winger. I thought they should have rather gone for a left back.
They have a young left back, the one signed from Birmingham. I'm not sure of the name.
What was it?
Yeah.
Mourinho and young
He
players,
signed.
it's a weird line.
Yeah, Mourinho
Yeah.
and young players don't get along.
No, but he was quite an expensive signing. Yeah, I'll have to look him up. But
Yeah, if that's the case, then okay, they might be covered in that case. So I think that's more or less it from Spurs. Moving on to probably the laziest team in this transfer window, that is Man United. Going from Sancho almost signed to struggling to find installments to be paid for Sancho and no other real concrete link as of now. Man United fans have had a depressing time until now, to be honest. Viramda, what do you think?
That's
Sancho
true.
happening or not happening?
To be honest, I think this has been I don't know if it's Corona or not, but I mean, I think all clubs, 17 clubs have already spent money. So I'm pretty sure that's not an excuse. I think all the United fans are pretty confused and are very, I think confused is the right word to say the approach to this transfer window, because I think this transfer window is like as it seems to be, it's setting up to be another case where the manager does well, he sets a foundation and he doesn't get back to the transfer window again.
Definitely.
So, I mean, I'm very curious to see how we will look at the end of the transfer window. I'm sure that we will make signings, but as of now, it's looking very bleak. And
when does it
as far
end?
as you said, Sancho,
I guess
do
it ends
think
as soon as season starts, I guess.
Bro, even if Sancho,
5th October.
in my opinion, that is still
5th October.
a good window for United.
Lots of time.
Last
Yeah,
season,
it's not. But
that
I
United
mean,
complained
Sancho alone,
last season, that's squad depth. And for squad depth, if I were Ed Woodward, I'd rather spend that Sancho money on 4 or 5 players that could provide me that depth.
definitely. But that's the thing. the alternatives we have to him are probably Chiesa, Koeman, and Costa. Out of that, Koeman and Costa are very injury prone. Chiesa is an interesting one, but I'm not sure if he's as good as Sancho. So if we can get Sancho done, so not very good. But yeah, I mean, I still think that we need a clarification very fast on his situation, because if we stretch it out, we never know how the PR campaign might be spun,
Yeah.
or I don't know what might happen in the end. We just might end up with him. So I would rather have clarity on him right now, and yeah, just get on with it. I mean, we need to make signings. Just sign. We got linked with Batshuayi. The 25 million offer is rejected. So, I mean, those are the only two concrete links. And just to conclude, I mean, finally, I think Grealish and Van de Beek's name has been thrown around, but as of now, there is no concrete anything. So it's a very concerning
Less than
thing for now.
it makes so much
I'm
sense
sorry, your voice is there.
Van de Beek right now.
Voice, I can't hear your voice.
I'm saying it makes so much sense for United to get Van de Beek right now when he's available for less than 40, and he's like the.
I mean, see,
Pogba and
we can probably plan out the entire transfer window as fans, but there's another thing that goes on in the club itself. So I don't have any comments. I mean, to me, to all of us, to all fans, Van de Beek seems a very good signing, but don't know what's happening behind the scenes.
Fair enough. Yeah. In the end, it seems disappointing from United, but let's see if they can come around. Moving on to champions Liverpool, they've already signed left back Mixa. Sorry if I pronounce his name wrong. From a Greek team.
Tsimikas.
Yeah, they've
From
signed
Olympiacos.
Robertson, and that's it as of now. But they're very strongly linked to Thiago from Bayern, who's almost made it open that he's leaving. And Bayern wants 30 million euros for the same. Liverpool are surprisingly.
Yeah. I mean, I think all of us. I mean, everyone would have him in our team. He's a classy player, silky player. I mean, he's one of the world-class players that are there, which are available for this cheap. But the thing is that he has 6 months left on his contract. So I think clubs are very cautious as to spend that 30 million when they can get him on free in the January transfer window. So I think that's what's stalling the deal right now.
But I feel that deal will happen, and that could be Liverpool.
Yeah, I mean, you never know. I think and Liverpool seems to be his only possible destination. So let's see now.
Yeah.
No, even Arsenal was. Somebody said there was like a call from Mikel Arteta to Thiago, and Thiago wants to like finish off his career in London. So you never, if that deal happens, yeah.
Yeah, you know, it's the transfer window. Anything can happen. You land in London, you end up signing for any club. You never know.
Sorry to burst your bubble, bro. Like Thiago would not go from Champions League football to Europa League football. I can.
You trust in the project. Gabriel had an offer from United. Gabriel had an offer from a much better offer from Napoli.
Bro, but honestly, it's the transfer market. Anything can happen, man. I mean, imagine a Champions League winner went to a Sky Bet Championship team. They went to that Casillas guy went to Leeds, man. Imagine from Champions League to Sky Bet Championship. Imagine. So anyone can go anywhere. It's genuinely it's so open.
I mean, okay, I wouldn't take anything away from what's going to happen in this transfer market. But yeah, Thiago's a hot name. Liverpool most likely, but Arsenal lurking in the background. Let's see if they can do something. And moving on to probably the giants of this transfer market in Chelsea, having already confirmed Hakim Ziyech from Ajax, Timo Werner from RB Leipzig. They have today itself signed Ben Chilwell from Leicester on a 5-year contract for a sum that is amounting to £50 million. And they are also very close to signing Thiago Silva on a free transfer from PSG, which could be announced as soon as tomorrow. And Kaya Havertz is also almost a Kaya Havertz is also almost a done deal, signing for almost £80 million from Bayer Leverkusen.
100.
The problem with this is, I mean, I really like how Chelsea's splashing the cash, but this just puts so much pressure, the exorbitant transfer fee, especially in this inflated, this pandemic time, nobody's paying for players, and Chelsea is out as splashing 100 million for Havertz. Like that's pretty crazy.
Like,
and
Liverpool are struggling to pay 30 million euros for Thiago,
Yeah.
are going to spend more
So
than
it's
100 million.
so you can generally see the oil dripping right out of the blue. So you could like I mean I don't know, but it just puts lots of pressure on the manager, on the players to perform. You're also you played your youth products for like 1 year now. You're probably going to sell them next year for a 30
No,
odd million bucks,
I
40
get
odd
that.
million bucks.
Like if you look at Chelsea's project right now, it is very clear. So Frank Lampard is at the helm of it. He's controlling everything. He likes a player, he dislikes a player. He's very clear in terms. So if he has given a chance to Tammy Abraham, Mason Mount, Billy Gilmore, they are definitely going to be a part of Chelsea's project in the long run. All of them have already signed 5-6 year contracts with the club, and Chelsea actually sees them as key squad players, in my opinion, for the coming season. And in terms of goalkeeper, Chelsea are also interested in Edouard Mendy from Rennes, and they have reportedly had a 15 million euro bid rejected today. So you could see
So
more coming apart from this too with Chelsea.
that's
I
all
think
right, but still,
Chelsea's had their best window in terms of, I think,
Yeah,
in
that's
many
true.
years.
I mean,
And I
it's
think
Hmm.
I mean, as much as I hate to admit it, I mean,
yeah.
I'm really very happy to see a club backing the manager like this.
I mean,
It shows that there is someone who actually cares about the football project and not the business part of it.
so I couldn't be happier for having an owner like Roman Abramovich and him actually coming back to his brutal best in the transfer market. Like Chelsea were known to be the kings of the market when Roman took over in 2003, and like he sort of went on a nap the last few years. I'd say we made a few horrible signings in the market, but now you can see very good intent from Chelsea. They don't drag deals too
Even
much. They pay
even the
up.
girl should get credit, right? Even the lady who's the
Obviously, Marina Granovskaya, who runs chief operations
yeah.
at Chelsea, is known to be a solid negotiator. She's not only very good at buying players, she's also very good at negotiating deals and selling players for youth sums. Because Chelsea also have a lot of
crazy.
goings this summer. Timemo Bakayoko is on the verge of joining AC Milan for a loan fee plus buy option. Emerson is very likely to be sold with Inter Milan, his likeliest suitors. And there's also talk of Jorginho being moved on. There was initially interest from Juventus when Sarri was in
True,
charge.
yeah.
Now, Pirlo taking over, no one knows if they'll go for Jorginho again. There was some talk of Roma.
No, so today Juventus signed Weston McKennie on loan, so I'm not sure they'll be moving on. He's from Schalke. I think he's a CM/CDM. So
Yeah,
I'm not sure if Jorginho
Midfielders
will
will
be.
Juventus get?
that might rule out a Jorginho.
They
True.
have they have a
Mishita,
The
crazy amount of
amount of
midfielders.
midfielders they have is mad.
It's
I heard Ramsey
crazy.
is leaving, right?
who?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but with Pirlo, you never know if he wants to keep him
yeah.
or
Because
not.
Yeah, that's true.
he's really good in the Italian league, and he might be useful for Juventus. So that's one we have to keep an eye out. And Ross Barkley is another name being hinted for a Chelsea departure this summer, with West Ham and his ex-manager David Moyes being the likeliest destination. So that's most about it from Chelsea. Stupendous performance in the transfer market, buying
Stupendous.
world class. Kai Havertz. We haven't spoken about Kai Havertz, to be honest. That's a huge deal coming off in the pandemic.
Bro, it's how overpaid is that, man? He's at most 50, 60.
Bro, that coming from a City fan isn't really.
We don't overpay, fam. We do not overpay.
What do you? Cancelo spent the entire season
Bro,
having
Cancelo was a swap deal
swap deal
for
was
Danilo.
swap deal was.
Your centre
For
backs, man, the
Danilo, I
amount
mean,
of
we just paid cash
money.
plus Danilo.
Alright, what about 50 million Benjamin Mendy? Who soon.
Stones,
That was he was a player at that
Stones.
time. He was such a good player. He
Okay,
came
what
in the
about
team of the season. He
since we're talking about Man City, let's address the elephant in the room. The Lionel Messi rumors. Messi has recently sent an official fax to Barcelona saying he wants to leave the club. He's had enough. And Man City are coming out as his likely as suitors. Now, okay, Jaden, when you talk about overpaying, Messi's deal is going to cost you a fortune. That's probably going to be your transfer budget from 2 or 3 seasons combined. And he is 32. I'm not saying I would not pay anything less for Lionel Messi, but let's not talk about overpaying right now. It's about getting your man. Because clubs have money. Let's
So
not hide away from that fact.
I feel that Lionel Messi, I googled his wages right now. He earns like what? Average netted 500K per week.
Bro,
So
that,
500K per week
that's
isn't that much.
that's excluding image rights and stuff. That's not his final package.
Yeah.
His final package is worth 100 million pounds a year. That's confirmed.
100 million, I mean, it depends. I mean, if Pep genuinely wants him, and if I don't think so, he might be a right fit for the team. But I mean, it's Messi, he's the best player in the world, and if he wants to come, we won't reject it. I mean, we have the cash to spend. I mean, he's the best player in the world. I mean, why wouldn't you pay a lot for him? Amount.
All right, guys, this Messi talk can go on, and I think this is it for a quick transfer showdown. And we will be back with another Messi video soon, talking about its possible destinations and what Man City could do with his signing, or has he got another team in mind? So stay tuned and comment what you think, which club has had the best transfers and what transfers are likely. And we'll see you back soon.
And probably, yeah, we're going to come back. So stay tuned because we're going to come back in probably a week or two to give you all the latest updates as we did right now. So yeah, stay tuned, guys. Thank you for joining
Stay
us.
tuned, boys. We are
And
coming back.
special thank you to Asal Hindi, Ganeep,
Ganeep Singh's
Link in bio.
link in bio.
Thanks, bro. Like always repping the
See you all,
channel.
boys.